Not a separate, each sold separately.
Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast. Happy New Year. It is the first episode of 2020, and we are going to kick it off with the top 10 movies of the decade selected by all three of us. So it's going to probably be the top 30 movies.
There's going to be crossover
of the decade.
Okay.
I'm very excited. But I wanted to welcome everybody to the new year by bragging about things that I've bought. But I'm not going to start yet. Abigail Gardner, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. Really great, actually. I was super sick for the last couple weeks, and yeah, it's good to be back in the world and to do our podcast.
There you go.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the world.
Thank you, world.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Jake,
you, Greg.
how are you, man?
I'm annoyed.
All right, talk to me.
I was supposed to for my day job, I was supposed to go to a convention tomorrow, and I would be there through the weekend, and I had appointments lined up and everything. And the convention, I don't know, whoever runs it, contacted us today, and they're like, "Oh, hey, we had to cancel it." So an entire tattoo convention got canceled the day before. It's chaos. Everybody's kind of freaking out about it, and it just ruins the whole weekend. It ruins it just sucks. All the appointments are going to have to be figured out. It's annoying.
I'm sorry, bud.
What does that have to do with the Rise of Skywalker? I thought that's what we were talking about here.
I was going to say, so this episode, we're raising money for Jake.
Yeah.
If you'd like to send something, like a toy.
Jake, I'm sorry, man. That sucks. I hate that happened.
I hate it that it happens. Is there any part of you that's relieved because you like getting out of things? Because that's how that's just me.
Well, I do like getting out of things, sure, but also for tattoo conventions, I make way more money than I do. We work conventions in a different way. It is a really good setup, and usually at conventions I get paid pretty well. And I had appointments for every day.
Yeah.
And now I'm just not gonna work for until Monday, basically, probably. So it sucks.
Jake, you know what?
Yeah.
You should retire from
Should I?
tattooing. You shouldn't do it anymore.
Hey. I would if I could. if someone would give us enough money, I'll quit tattooing.
Yeah, definitely. We will all quit our day jobs.
I'll stop it. Yeah.
It's all good. Well, I'm sorry that
Keep
happened.
winning those awards, Jake.
In
any convention getting canceled sucks. So that's how I feel.
That's what it is. It's like I felt like I was getting ready to come home and pack, and I was like, ooh I need to go somewhere. Now I don't.
Over the last couple weeks, we have celebrated holidays. We have celebrated the end of the Skywalker saga. And programming note, we are going to do kind of a full rundown of the Star Wars saga, the 9 movies, kind of let our opinions breathe a little bit. I know we did our reaction video. We're going to do another full-fledged review of the sequel trilogy as a 3-movie set, and kind of take a look back at all of them. And Jake, when we last checked on Rise of Skywalker stuff, you were really sad. You had talked about going to the Walmart parking lot and crying and not being able to control yourself.
I didn't say that.
I thought that's what you said.
That never happened.
You filmed yourself and then you sent it to us, and then you asked us to delete it.
I did not.
Yeah, you did.
We had to delete evidence.
You're like, I just watched that.
But you haven't seen it again. But how are you feeling about Star Wars right now that you've had a couple weeks?
I feel better about it, I think. And I still, I wanted to go see it again this past weekend and just wasn't able to make it happen. But I definitely, a lot of that sadness has gone away, and it feels a little more calming, and it kind of feels like, okay, it's all over, and I'm pretty happy with the end result. So it feels pretty good, I think. It's annoying. I'm annoyed a lot, aren't I? Am I annoyed all the time?
I'll give you that.
All the time?
I think I might be.
People like you because you're cranky.
I just noticed that we've been recording for 10 minutes and I've said I'm annoyed twice.
Hey, we didn't even talk about the mayonnaise on your Impossible Burger.
I wasn't annoyed about that because I knew that was going to happen. I had accepted that before.
That was the mayonnaise on the Impossible Burger moment for Jake. Just that last little thing.
The only thing that's got me feeling weird about Star Wars currently is all this stupid JJ cut talk bullshit. Like, it's just stupid, and I don't give a fuck because the movie's out, and I just don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
It also stresses me out that John Urqueba doesn't like Star Wars that much, and you know that's always in the back of my mind. And
That's always
Let's
in the
get
back
him
of
on
your
the
mind.
phone. Let's
just all
call
the
him.
time, I'm just like, John, what does John think of this then?
He's gonna come around at some point.
He's seen it, right?
He hasn't seen the new one.
But he doesn't like it. Even though he hasn't seen it?
We're gonna move on.
Okay.
We're gonna move on.
Cool.
I don't know. I don't think. No.
I thought he did see it, but I don't know.
I just don't think John Urqueba, friend of the podcast, Star Wars just isn't his number one thing. That's all.
I get it, but it's the thing that it's fine. But it's just weird because most people do like Star Wars, and then like when you love something like Star Wars and you're trying to talk to one of your good friends and they're just like, I don't care about Star Wars. But I'm sure it's the same way. Like, I give him shit about Batman all the time, so it's like,
Hey, I like Batman.
Jake,
Hey,
you broke up with Star Wars for a period.
Yeah.
Like the
I
last
did.
year.
I
Yeah.
left Star Wars for
Star
like
Wars
a
is
year
very
and a half.
divisive.
I said, you know what? I'm done with this.
Jake,
Yeah.
Jake's been sending a lot of memes, a lot of the Ray Skywalker memes. They're very
funny.
Fun. They are fun. My favorite one is the one that's like, "What's your name? Ray. Ray what? Ray Skywalker, Kenobi, Palpatine, Chewbacca, R2D2." Just like naming every fucking character.
The Rey Mysterio I thought was the funniest one.
Oh, yeah. I like
that's pretty
that. I saw that. thing.
Abby, how are you feeling about Star Wars? The Rise of Skywalker. I can't stop thinking about it. I love it.
I honestly, I have really weird mixed associations and feelings about it right now because the last time I saw it, we saw it in the RPX theater. Is that what it's called?
40X.
40X. Okay, so it has like the shaking seats and there's like mist and lightning and smoke and all sorts of special effects, which are really cool. But the last time when I was experiencing it, basically I was starting to get sick and like I got really sick. I don't think it helped me being on like the fucking Exegol,
The Exegol.
with like the cold rain and
Yeah,
wind.
they're just blowing.
I literally
ice-cold
like had my
air
jacket wrapped with like
into your
the
face.
hoodie. Yeah, it was extremely cold. And that's
You know what? Fuck that. No, fuck you. Listen. Okay.
and I'm very spoiled to have been able to experience
This is
it.
why
I'm
you're
grateful
spoiled.
that it was
Fuck you.
there.
I love you.
No, this is why I say that.
Rise
Because
Skywalker got me sick. Is what I'm saying.
Palpatine in his bloodline gave Rey the conflict of a lifetime of the Force Awakening within her, pulling her to the dark side almost at one point. Learning her family history is actually terrible and almost brought the end of the universe. What did Palpatine do to you? Oh, you got a cold?
Dude, I got bronchitis. Palpatine got me sick. Viral infection and bronchitis, man.
Hey, if
I felt like I needed to be hooked to one of those things that he was on just to be able to breathe for 2 weeks. It was fucked up.
I know there's a lot of people who've been going does this mean that Palpatine fucks route? But I do want to give friend of the podcast,
Of course it does.
Andrew Schaefer,
Ooh, yeah.
author of Ghosts from Our Past, who is a great friend of
Lightning
ours.
fingers.
He was the first person, like 5 seconds after I got out of Rise of Skywalker, I got a text from Andrew Schaefer that said, "So Palpatine fucks, eh?"
Dude, of course. Way to get there first, Andrew.
Anyways. Well, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to be going through our top 10 of the decade list and kind of recapping some of our favorite moments over the last couple years. This is year 4 for Yes Have Some podcast. We are not quite to our 4th anniversary, but it's coming up in a couple weeks. February. And we'll also be celebrating our 200th episode.
Whoa.
Somebody suggested that we should make We Did It challenge coins.
Yes.
For our 200th episode.
Righteous Gemstones.
Just like
style?
Righteous Gemstones.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of Righteous
That's funny.
Gemstones. Yeah, I like that. We'll throw into a river.
We'll throw into a river.
Yeah.
I love that.
There was a thread in Yes Have Some Group Therapy, which is the official Facebook group of Yes Have Some podcast. Please, if you're out there in internet land, join Facebook group
Request.
therapy. It's great. We had a thread going. What is there was 2 threads that I started on New Year's Day. What are your collecting goals for 2020, and what are your what's the first toy you're going to buy in 2020?
Mm-hmm.
So I had the. I did not know that the first toy that I bought in 2020 was going to be what it ended up being, but I wanted to show it to you guys real quick if I could.
Yeah. I was going to go to group therapy to see. You got it.
I'm
you
holding
got it with
it.
you.
I'm holding it.
All right.
So we all watched Righteous Gemstones over the last couple weeks, which was an incredible show on HBO with Danny McBride. And that led us down the road of discovering his last show on HBO, which for some reason I think the 3 members of Yes Have Some Podcasts are the last 3 people in the world to watch this show. Because literally everybody I've talked to is like, yeah, I love it.
Seen it.
Love that show.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Vice Principals. So we all finished it. Hey, guess what? That's a good show.
It's a good-ass show.
That's a good-ass show.
Yeah. It's not as good as Gemstones, in my opinion, but it's a close second.
I think it's funny as fuck.
Gemstones has Misbehaving, and that's the best song, and that's a gift to the world. And I think that we're going to do that costume for Dragon Con. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Jake, you're going to have to be John Goodman. So,
what?
Like in the 80s with the, we're just going to do the whole thing.
We've decided this for you.
Craig's baby Billy.
Thanks.
And I made me Lee.
So we watched Vice Principals, and of course, anytime I fall in love with something, my first thought is, what kind of merch is out there? There's not a lot, but in the mail today, I did receive my Vice Principals action figure set, if we can call them that.
So weird. Looks nothing like them. I love it.
Stylized figures of Gamby and Lee
looks
Russell.
like your cousin Taylor.
It does look like my cousin
looks
Taylor.
just like it.
You bought a Taylor figure?
Williamson figure.
I kind of want to leave these in package.
Yeah, that package is cool. I like that it looks like notebook paper.
I don't think I'm going to.
I don't think you should. I think that's a cool package.
But those are great. I was happy to get those. And this was basically, there's like some other promotional stuff out there, but this is it.
Yeah.
This is all the Vice Principals merch.
That's all you can get. I looked up
full collection.
Lee Russell and
Collection
Christine wedding photo because I thought maybe it was out there.
They're painting?
Yeah, they're painting. That's like in the bedroom that gets desecrated. It doesn't exist.
I love that we're reviewing shows that are been off the air for 3 years.
Cool. That's what we do.
Next week, we're going to be talking about the FX hit The Shield.
Cool.
Or Shield. I don't know what that shit's called.
Full review of Felicity.
Coming up.
Yeah. I'd watch it.
And the other thing, so in the did you guys contribute to the collecting goals thread?
No.
I haven't, no.
So you're bad at you're not supporting me.
Bad group therapy member.
Well, let me just ask you, Jake.
Yeah.
What are your collecting goals this year? We're going to Toy Fair. I just wanted to say that.
You just want to say we're going to Toy Fair?
Has nothing
You
to do
gotta
with
put it in there every episode. It's got to get in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My goals are kind of a little different. I've been working on since like Christmas break when I bought all those Detoffs. I've been I redid my entire toy room, and I realized that I need to like declutter some stuff, and I ended up opening some things, which was awful, but I did it.
That was tough for you.
What'd you open?
I opened all those Beetlejuice toys by myself.
Oh, yeah.
I opened just a couple.
The way you just said it, I did it all by myself. Nobody helped me.
I opened just like some random stuff that I had. I opened all my Diamond Select Ghostbuster toys that I didn't want to open.
You opened those?
Yeah.
Hey, those are a pain in the ass to open.
Oh, that packaging is noisy.
It took me 2 hours. I opened all of them except for the real Ghostbuster stuff. And I've been redoing my entire house because of it, and I've also like my living room looks very different now, and my like VHS media book room is like, it's crazy looking right now. I have like 3 boxes that are going to Goodwill full of toys and books and just random shit, and it's just like a lot of toys that were small things that were just kind of like knick-knacky or like not really collectible toy, just like random shit that I've been holding on to for years, and I'm like, well, this doesn't look good on a shelf. Why do I even have this anymore? So I've gotten into that mindset where I'm like redoing everything, and it's crazy.
Cool.
Yeah. We may have a bin of some of your knickknacks and collectibles too.
We do?
We came across. What? Yeah, I think we got a Star Wars one in the closet.
Well, no, because Jake, you've been you've been on this. This is not the newest train for you. You made the decision to declutter a while back, but now it's getting serious.
It's getting really serious because, well, like I started decluttering and then, as I would like add another DTOF, every time I do that, I have to get rid of one of the shelves that I was already using, which was just a big
maintain balance
black Walmart shelf. And you could just throw anything on those. But in DTOFs, it's like I can't have nice stuff that looks cool set up on a DTOF and then like a shelf full of just bullshit. So it's like all of it's got to go.
Gotta go.
Yeah, it's got to go.
I understand. So in this thread, I kind of outlined. Can you find my post? Not that's the wrong thread. There was another thread about my collecting goals, but anyways, I kind of typed out what my goals were for the year, which were obviously any Hasbro Ghostbusters. I'm gonna buy all of it, probably twice. Star Wars Black Series, continuing my venture into Star Wars Vintage, and I then mentioned Toy Biz and Kenner Batman figures. I talked about that on the podcast last week. It's not very expensive stuff to get, very cool and all that. So of course I immediately started buying stuff that was nowhere on my list. Of course. I did something that I said I was never going to do. I'm going down a path I said I was never going to go down.
G.I. Joe.
No, not G.I. Joe.
Transformers.
Fuck. You know what? Fuck Transformers.
You told us to like kick you off the podcast.
I'll never collect Transformers. I don't care about them. Do I?
It's a cry for help.
I could see myself going down the G.I. Joe path. Okay. Nope. I bought my first.
Oh, yeah. I was there.
Oh, okay. You did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
You jumped in there. Very good.
I'm in.
I was your gateway.
Are you
gonna open these?
For the people listening, I should say.
Oh, yeah, for the people.
All right.
This is Batman the Animated Series, DC Collectibles. This is a Two-Face figure. And I am going to open these. These are great figures.
Put them on a DTOF? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Put them on a DTOF. I got the...
Put them on a DTOF.
Put them on a DTOF. I got the complete line of... or not the complete line. The complete series. The Batman Animated Series on Blu-ray this Christmas.
I got it for you.
Thank you, Abigail.
You're welcome.
And I just love it. I loved it as a kid. And I love it now, and this is a really great line of figures.
It's still a really good show. It's extremely grown up and advanced for its time. I'm like surprised watching it that it was for kids and marketed towards them. Like I don't know if kids' cartoons are still like that.
They're not.
It definitely
it's a
has
really,
some like heavy subjects.
It's a great show, way ahead of its time, and probably you can make an argument it's one of the best versions of Batman out there. Anyways, long story short, we're going to get to these top 10s, but I think I know why I do this, guys. I need to be able to go toy hunting on a regular basis at local shops and stores and have new products coming to me. Black Series. There's always something coming. Star Wars Vintage Collection. Power Rangers Lightning Collection. DC Collectibles. Like, there's nothing worse when you go to Target or Walmart or whatever and there's just nothing to buy. I want to buy something. Don't you want to buy something?
Yeah. Which is why at some point you probably will start buying G.I. Joes and Transformers.
I'm just going down a really bad path.
Yeah.
I'm going to come home and be like, I don't really know what Ben 10 is. But
I was just looking at my Powerpuff Girls, cast aside all the toys I have down there. I was like, oh, when did I get this? They're not out, but yeah, you gotta have a reason and
so that's what
have
I'm doing.
Something to collect.
But I do think those are great figures and they're affordable and they look great. And like Jake said, they'll look good on a DTOF.
Yeah, they're good looking figures.
You guys ready to do these lists?
Yeah.
Are you guys excited about this?
Yeah, I'm excited because we've talked about it and I feel like we've all kind of prepped and put a lot of thought into this, but not shared what we actually like our lists with each other. So it's gonna be the first time. For me, hearing yours, Jake, and yours, Craig.
I think traditionally...
Craig has made some big, bold statements in the last week about taking things off lists. And
I'm a little nervous about Craig's list.
Dude, you should be nervous about mine. I was stressed about what you think of me.
I'm excited about yours because your taste in movies sometimes is
Wild card.
Wildly...
different?
Yeah. I don't know how to. It's not. I'm not bad or anything like that, but it's eccentric. I think is the word. So
Okay.
I'm feeling like 10 years worth of movies. I feel like your list might be insane, but in a good way.
I
Yeah.
read my list to my buddy Billy, and he told me it was the list of somebody who's a fake movie fan.
Oh,
That's what I was gonna
that means
say.
you got Joker on there. Oh, sorry, spoilers.
Joker's not. You know what? I quit.
No,
Listen,
tell me, you didn't buy it when it came out.
I almost bought.
Yeah,
it.
you missed out
Oh,
on
you're
that.
not
We
Steelbook.
normally would do like top 5 of the year.
Yeah.
But it's the end of a decade.
It's
so,
the end of a
yeah,
decade.
we gotta do the whole
This
decade.
only happens once every 10 years.
I mean, I'll tell
I
you
just
off the
explained
top.
decades.
There's no movies from this year on my list, or from this past year.
Hey, I got one that snuck in. It's number 10, so I'm not
Hope
gonna
it's-
spoil it. But
I
I hope
didn't know
it's
you
Men
guys
in
like
Black.
Pet Cemetery that much.
I was gonna mention that, but I didn't know how. Just like I'm bummed that it wasn't as big of a deal for people. I liked it though.
All right, how do we want to do this? So here's the rules. Here's the rules. Jake?
I was just gonna say, I think we should go one at a time, starting at 10, and
Yeah.
the three of us can discuss the movie quickly, and
Yeah.
we'll just move on to the next one.
If we get to a movie that if we hit a movie that is on somebody else's list,
Once we get to them, they won't have. They'll just throw in. We'll only talk about it once.
right? Exactly. That's the rule.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
Good meeting, guys.
I'm glad
Good
we
job.
figured this
Good
out.
job doing that.
Let's figure it out.
during the episode.
All right, cool. I'm like I'm rethinking my list now.
I know. That's what I've been doing. I've got a couple on here that I'm like, I know Jake's gonna give me shit.
Well, listen, I'm gonna give both of you shit, but no, I'm not. But I have movies on my we've been prepping this list for a couple months. This was something we knew we were gonna do, and I didn't have my list set until yesterday, and I had 1 through 8 set. My number 9 was kind of open, and then I knew what my number 10 was going to be. And I had 3 or 4 movies. I was cycling through my number 9, and it's hard to make a list. 10 years is a lot of time. It's a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
I have movies that I might watch more often, but I just didn't feel like they belonged. It's weird, and it's hard to make a list like that. So you just gotta do it based on what you're what movie are you thinking about more often, or I don't know, whatever. It's just fucking do it.
I wrote an opening statement.
Yeah, and I guess we should. We'll get to your statement in a second, but I guess we should say these are our personal 10 best movies.
Yeah,
And
that's what this elaborates on.
After this episode, get on Yes Have Some Group Therapy on Facebook.
Give us your top 10.
You give us your top
Yeah, we'll start a what do you call those things on the Facebooks? Like a thread.
Thread.
All right,
Cool.
Abby,
We'll
so
jump
Abby
in.
has an opening
Yeah,
statement.
my opening
Go ahead
statement
and
is
center
just
yourself. Speak to the
I
camera.
started off with a grand list of 20, which I'm not, no spoilers, but then I narrowed those down to 10. And yeah, when I thought about what this is, I wrote, I have not seen Lady Bird, Boyhood, or Birdman. I may have never seen Moonlight, and I may never see Green Book, although I do understand their significance. These are my top 10 movies of the last 10 years, the 10 movies that impacted me most, made my obsessions, delighted, frightened, and emotionally leveled me. These are the 10 movies that came out over the last decade that snuggled up into my heart and changed me as a person. So these are movies that impacted me. It's not like because I went out and read some of other people's lists, and I haven't seen all of those movies. I never saw Lady Bird. It's probably not really in my thing. So I'm going to say these are the movies that were important enough for me to see, and these are the movies that struck me and that I love and care about. So I will, moving forward, having said that, are we all ready?
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
I like that. That was good.
Good. Thank you.
All right. Abby,
Yo.
number 10.
All right, number 10. This is one that I'm a little... God. Jake, you know what? I don't even care. I'm just going to say it. I actually have a tie for number 10.
You can't tie it. No.
Yeah, I can.
No. Hold on. That's cheating. You get
All
10
right.
movies, not
All
11.
right. Sorry, Creed. Creed was my tie. And it's tied with the movie Booksmart, which, Jake, I know you haven't seen.
I haven't seen that, yeah.
But I
can't
saw
talk
it
about
for the first time over the last week, and I may
over
have been...
2 nights.
No, one night I made a lot of NyQuil and DayQuil were involved, but I watched it in one goddamn sitting and I cried. It's
Like
very
an hour
hard.
and a half.
It's a short little movie.
It's like Jake. I opened my toys all by myself.
All by myself. It was directed by Olivia Wilde, and she's come a long way from doing The OC. She was Marissa's girlfriend on The OC for an episode. Spoilers. This movie is, I wish I'd written it when I watched it. I was like, this is dealing with themes of like coming of age and best friends, like supporting each other and going through real life changes. And the last party of high school. And like, it's a really fun, perfect, empowering movie for females. And I fucking loved it. And yeah, I wish I'd seen it when I was 13 because I think it's just got very good, like, it's a good example, a good, like, model of what friendship is and what it's about. And it just kept hitting me over and over again in all the right places. And I think that it's one of the best movies of the last 10 years. And I tied it with Creed because I really liked Creed a lot, but it's just kind of, like, right out there on the outskirts of actually being number 10 for me. But I do love Michael B. Jordan and I love Sylvester Stallone, so I'm going to say that too. And Tessa Thompson was great in that movie. So there I am with number 10, Booksmart.
Cool. Jake?
Cool.
Booksmart's great. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
There you go.
Cool.
It's hot.
My number 10 is a movie called Swiss Army Man. I don't know if did you guys see that?
I never did see
I saw it on other people's lists.
Yeah. It is very good. It's very weird. It's conceptually like just fucking weird. And it has a very great, like, the music in it is really good. And the music isn't just the score. It helps tell the story. And sometimes your main characters are singing to each other or a dead body or whatever. It's got a very weird use of like practical effects. The comedy is almost like slapsticky, but it's very, very emotional. And it's like, if you guys don't know what the movie's about, it's about this guy who is on a deserted island, or so you think most of the time, and he finds a dead body and he becomes best friends with the dead body. And the dead body is played by what is that?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter. And the dead body kind of comes to life and it talks and he's able to help them build. It's very weird. Like he uses, he like teaches the dead body about life and love and they become best friends and they help each other through these weird experiences. And it's very funny. It's very well acted, but it also kind of takes a weird dark turn in the end of the movie. And it just like, it kind of gut punches you on multiple different levels. It's just a great movie.
Cool.
Yeah, dude, I'm reading about it right now. I might.
You should check it out. You should check it out. It's.
I'm looking at pictures
weird.
right now.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Dude,
Cool,
I love
man.
it. Very good. Hey.
Let's all make a pact where we watch each other's movies that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Before prom night.
Yes. All in one night. It's just like Booksmart. Cool.
Hey, also, this is just weird. My bottom 4 movies, 7 through 10, all start with S.
Ooh.
That's weird.
Fun fact.
Wow.
Okay. My number 10. I think this is going to be surprising to you guys.
Okay.
I had trouble. When we're done with this list, we'll go through movies that didn't make the cut. Because there's definitely some that I wanted to put on there that I didn't. Number 10. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Wow.
Okay.
Stuck in there.
I wasn't.
Okay.
That was nebulous. That was there for me. It was in my list, but it wasn't. I cut it.
I don't want to go into too much detail. Star Wars is my second favorite movie franchise, but just because a franchise is my favorite doesn't mean its movies are going to make my list. I think there's one movie from a franchise we all love, near and dear to our hearts, that probably will not be on anybody's top.
Dude,
10
I've
list.
got my least favorite 5. Top 5 bummers.
Okay, we'll get there.
Actually, there might be 6.
But I really, really loved The Rise of Skywalker as a Star Wars fan, and I really have a deep, deep love of the characters of Kylo Ren and Rey, and seeing their story play out in the way that they executed it. I thought was really magical. It's not a perfect movie. In my opinion, a huge improvement over The Last Jedi, but it's not a perfect trilogy by any means. But like Jake and Abby said, you got to go with your gut of what you loved and what meant a lot to you. And I've seen it twice, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. And it's my number 10 movie of the last 10 years.
Cool.
All right. Abigail, number 9.
Well, your movie got me sick. Just kidding. That was my own fault. My number 9 movie is... Now, I thought about this really hard, and I went back and watched most of it recently just to, like, verify that it was still in the top 10 for me. And it is. Number 9 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And Jake, don't think that's going to be in your top 10 because I heard you distinctly mention that it wouldn't be. But for me, I loved that movie. I loved
Jake, did I say that?
Did I say that? I loved it. Not just because friend of the podcast, Brian Dill, worked on it a little bit and gave me a coffee mug from the VFX crew, which is very cool.
You had that one.
Yeah, I was drinking out of it until my coffee got cold. I love Miles and
Ryan.
Gwen Stacy. I love the romantic, like, story between the two of them. I also love that the movie can deal with, like, multiple dimensions of reality and, like, still have a lot of heart. And I can still follow the basic story of it. I really liked Jake Johnson, who did the older Spider-Man in it, and Lily Tomlin played Aunt May, and I really liked her and thought that everything that happened with her, like, basement lab was really cool. I thought there was, like, really great representation in the movie and that it was laugh out loud funny and also made me cry, like, while laughing, which I think is really important. And yeah, it was just a dope movie with really cool graphics and cool shit going on, and I loved it. So I have to put it at number 9. And I enjoyed the rewatch, too. I think it's very rewatchable. Cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Jacob Walsh.
I have 2 movies on my list. First of all, Abby, I like that movie a lot. And I don't...
I was like stressed that I was going to have to defend it to you.
Not on my list.
Take it off so many people's lists.
It's not on my list. It's not on my list because, superhero movies aren't real movies.
No,
you know
it's
what I mean?
not.
Oh, yeah. Well, animated movies aren't movies.
I think that movie's probably... if I had to rank superhero movies, that movie would probably be in the top 2 or 3 for me. It's great.
Tight. Cool.
My number 9 is, so this is the one that I was like, this slot, I was kind of I had multiple films kind of rolling in and out. And there are 2 movies on this list that I usually don't put in lists like this because they have such a huge franchise behind them that I kind of just count them as their own thing. But I think both of these movies are standouts in their franchises, and this is a movie that's not on anybody's list but mine, and it's Shin Godzilla.
Okay.
That movie is so different and weird and better than most of the other Godzilla movies. It showed that Godzilla doesn't have to just be stupid and dumb, and there's nothing wrong with stupid and dumb and just like people in suits fighting each other. Like, that's great. That's one of my favorite things to watch. But Shin Godzilla took it a little more seriously and showed us a different side of things. And they recreated Godzilla's look in a way that has never been done before. And they made him like truly terrifying, like made him just horrifying to look at, scary on multiple different levels. And it's just such a departure from any other Godzilla film that it felt important to me, and it was just something that I kept thinking about. So I had to put it on there.
Dude, tight. I'm looking at images of the
it's fucking weird. It's
way
super
Godzilla looks. Yeah. It's scary.
He like kind of something
like the whites of the eyes and all that. That's
yeah, something scary. They do with him in that film is he evolves as the movie goes. Like the first time you see him, he's like crawling and he looks very weird, and he's kind of mutating as the movie goes on. So he takes multiple forms, and it's out there.
Yeah, you had one of those, like a statue from that on your wish list, didn't you?
I did. One from that film was on my wish list.
Jake, from just real quick, Godzilla community fandom perspective, is that a pretty polarizing movie?
It did split some people because, I would say the majority really liked it, but I would say it's probably like a 60-40 kind of split.
Gotcha.
A lot of people really love it for all the reasons I just said, but then a lot of people you get those kind of people who are like, that doesn't look like Godzilla. That's not a man in a suit. That's not fine. Some people like, there's so many Godzilla movies and people think Godzilla has to be a specific way or they hate it. And this movie is just not like any of the others. So there are people who are just like, nope, not for me.
That doesn't sound like fans. They don't do that. I don't think that's something people would say.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like people.
That's not. Yeah, that doesn't sound like
people are really
to
rational.
take to Facebook and post their unsolicited opinion.
What number are we on? 9?
9.
Okay.
That was 9.
Cool. My number 9 is the movie Spotlight, which I don't know if you guys have seen that movie.
No.
It's an incredible film starring the likes of Michael Keaton and Rachel McAdams, and it's a heavy watch. It is a film about the Boston Globe, I believe, uncovering the cover-ups in the Boston area of the all the very bad stuff happening in the Catholic Church.
Okay.
So
sexual abuse.
Yeah, it's based on a true story. How this group of reporters basically started outing all these priests, and they basically go on the trail of like what the churches were doing, and the church was if somebody was accused, if a priest was accused, they would just relocate him to another church, and it's really fucked up. It's definitely a heavy watch, not something you're gonna pop in. Well, have the friends over on a Friday night and watch Spotlight.
Get some popcorn going.
But and I almost had Birdman in this.
I did too.
Spot as well. I wanted to include something from Michael Keaton. Mark Ruffalo is also in it. And it's just one of those movies that's superbly acted. And I'm probably going to rewatch it again. I'll rewatch it again at some point. But yeah, that's my number 9. I definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it.
I respect that.
But
Yeah,
like
I saw that on a lot of lists.
Heavy watch.
I did too, yeah.
Yeah. Right on. I respect it.
Birdman was one of the movies that was in my rotating 9th slot as well. I rewatched that recently. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's great.
Cool.
All right, App, number 8.
Number 8. Another superhero movie. Get ready for this, guys. And I watched this recently, and it leveled me emotionally. And Jake, you probably know what I'm going to say now. Avengers Endgame is number 8.
Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah, I think that it's Avengers Endgame. I love the pacing of it. I love how dystopic the opening is and how well that contrasts against the brightness at the end when the day is saved and when you see everyone show up and on your left and all that happens. I love all the Hawkeye stuff and Black Widow relationship dynamics. I think that it is just I think it's a near perfect movie. The stuff with Ant-Man, his scenes, and Thor's interactions always make me laugh. I watched it twice in the movie theater and cried, and then I've seen it now since one full viewing, and I was just very much surprised at how much emotion can be elicited from like me, a viewer who hasn't I've seen the Iron Man movies, and obviously I'm familiar with the films, but I haven't read all the comic books, but I still feel like that investment level and that payoff level of this is the end of such a big deal, and it is. I would like to actually watch Endgame back to back with Rise of Skywalker and see which one makes me cry harder. But yeah, I just think it's a brilliant, beautiful movie. And
one of the complaints about Rise of Skywalker is that it's really unfair. Is that it tried to pull off the same level of emotions as Endgame, and who knows how much. There's probably no truth to that. I will say though that the last 20 minutes of Endgame are pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
It packs an emotional punch, as you said, and so yeah, I agree with that pick.
Cool.
I agree with it so much that it might appear on my list at some point.
I thought maybe. Cool. We'll let you talk about that later then.
All right, cool. All right, Jake.
I got another S movie. Does anybody want to guess what another S movie was?
Suspiria?
No, but that's a great movie. I put number 8. I put Shape of Water on my list.
Oh, you bitch!
I think Shape of Water is Guillermo del Toro's best film, and it's it's beautiful, and everybody in it is great, and the creature is really cool looking, and it's like a unique take to make the creature not the bad guy, and especially in this the guy who what's the dude's name who plays the bad dude? You know who I'm talking about.
Zod.
He's like that. He's a really great actor. Did you get it?
It's Michael something.
Michael
Shannon.
Yeah. Michael
He's
Shannon.
He's
Richard
very good.
Strickland.
Yeah, there you go. He's very good at playing a bad guy. He's really scary, and I just think the whole everything about that movie is perfect. I think it's just a good movie. Good Shape of Water.
I did see that Doug Jones is doing dual photo ops at Days of the Dead with Rico Browning.
Okay.
Is he in costume?
I don't think either one of them will be in having a creature pose off. Fuck it. That's what she said.
That's what she did.
She's like, I'll fuck it. Hey, I'm weirdly attracted to her in that movie.
He doesn't have to be weird.
She's cute.
She's hot as fuck.
Why is that weird?
She's empowered. She knows what she wants.
Weird
She's got a good life.
It's weird.
You only like it because she can't talk. Was that what it is?
Oh, is that?
No,
you're like the fucking villain in the movie. But I'll get you to make a noise. I watched that recently also.
It's great.
It's on my list.
All right. Everybody calm down.
Put your egg timers away. Go take a bath.
That's why it's fun.
I like that she lives so much of her day before she goes to work. She does a lot. It's great. It's a good life. It's a good balance.
All right. My number 8 was Endgame. So I'm not going to go much further on it other than I also think Infinity War is really great. But Endgame. It's really it's an incredible feat to pull off that cap, for lack of a better term, for a 20 movie series over a decade, and really makes you care about a lot of different characters, and it never gets cheesy. There's plenty of humor and there's plenty of really great action sequences, and it all feels very warranted and very.
Losing Iron Man grounds it, I think, at the end.
Spoilers.
Sorry. But that was it's a weight that makes it feel real, because you're everything is almost perfect, everyone comes back, but then we lost the one that got us through it all. And that's
all right. That's Endgame. That's number 8. Number 7.
Who's up?
You.
All right, guys. This one didn't have to think that hard about. I saw it in the movie theater recently over the summer, and I knew it was going to be on my list because I loved it. It's Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think I assume it's on all of our lists. I don't know. I know we're going to have a Tarantino, probably all of us.
It was on my list, but then it got bumped.
Yeah?
Because
it's not on mine. I'll tell you, it's not on mine either.
Y'all bumped it?
I bumped it because I loved it, but I've only seen it one time, and I really do need to see movies multiple times to fully grasp, especially for a top 10 of the decade list. But I'm not disparaging it at all because I thought it was incredible. Keep it going.
I just enjoyed it. I bought it for you for Christmas, so we will watch it again and give it a rewatch.
Dude, I got some presents.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll like it as much. I thought about putting the Hateful Eight, and I thought about Django, and
we just talk about the.
Well, okay.
Talk about
also,
the movie.
Inglourious Bastards was made in 2009, I think, so that's not even part of the last 10 years.
All right, cool. Welcome to the Quentin Tarantino.
Thought about putting that on there too, but
podcast.
what I decided on was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is the movie that made me love Brad Pitt. Took a lot of movies for me to get to that point, but I really like him. The scene where he's feeding his dog dinner and making himself mac and cheese that he eats out of the pot. I really just connected with that scene, and I really like it. I think Margot Robbie's angelic. I think the movie wraps you in the late 60s vibe and culture, and in a weird offbeat Tarantino way. I love how things kind of go a different direction, with Bruce Dern and all that shit. I liked it. I liked Leonardo DiCaprio, and I can't remember the name of the young actress who stole the scene. She's great.
Margot Robbie.
No. The little one. I'll find it.
Jake, I'm curious. You said that did not make your list. Any particular reason?
I watched it recently for the second time, and I do think it's a very good movie, and I think it is better than I would probably, if I was doing a top 10 of this year, it would probably be in the top 1 or 2 spot. Mm-hmm. But that being said, if I were ranking my Tarantino films, it would probably be in the bottom 3 for me. Like,
okay.
I think most of his other movies are better, or they're more fun. I don't know. Like, there's something about it where I'm just like,
Did you
I don't
not
know.
like the happy ending? I liked.
No, it's not. There's nothing that I did not like. It's just, I don't know. There's not terribly much going on in it. It's just like there's nothing really exciting happening except for that very ending.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like, it's not that I don't mind. I don't mind talking, but it's like it's just people reading lines, and there's nothing going on that, like, the first time I saw the movie, it wasn't until he ended up on Spawn Ranch that I was even in. I was like, what the fuck is happening in this movie? Until he got to the ranch. And that's when it kind of seems like a plot kicks in.
Yeah.
Until then, there's nothing happening.
I
It's
liked
just like
nothing though. I liked watching Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt
Yeah, I mean-
kind of struggling, and I liked watching Leonardo DiCaprio losing his shit like on
Yeah,
behind the scenes
I mean,
and all that.
it's
Thought it was
it's
funny.
great. It's
Right.
great, but my point is that
It doesn't pack enough punch and wallop.
7 other movies in Quentin Tarantino's list are way better. So that's why I didn't like. He put out 3 movies this decade.
He better
This
do
is
more.
not the best one.
He better not
to me.
stop.
All right. All right.
It's yeah, I really liked it. I can't wait to revisit it. I thought that both Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt really did like career-worthy performances.
They're great together. Yeah,
They're really
they're great together.
And it was cool that they got Bruce Lee back for it. What if I didn't understand how things work? I was just, it's just so cool. Bruce Lee was in it.
He came out of retirement.
It was cool. Like,
Wow.
what a sport.
That was so special.
He went through the Captain America machine just for.
All right, Jake.
My number set. We're on 7. My number 7 is my last S movie, and it is Super 8.
Oh.
Super 8 is such a good movie. Like J.J. Abrams kind of like exploded, on the scene with this movie. Kind of, he was around, but this movie came out, and it's like, it's everything that we love. It's like watching E.T. / it's just like, it has all the Spielberg feels, and it's not a Spielberg movie. And it's just, dude, everything about Super, it's very funny. All those kids are really great. There's like creepy stuff going on. There's Easter eggs to all. But you know what? My only issue with it is it's fucking like trying to be like Stranger Things.
Motherfucker.
Dude, like as soon as those kids are on a bike, I'm like, what are you doing?
Fucking Stranger.
So I gotta admit, we rewatched Super 8 this week. And I don't know what it is about. I love J.J. Abrams, and obviously it's a very well done movie, and there's some really good stuff in there. But my takeaway, and this is probably the 3rd time I've seen it, for some reason, and I don't know what it is, it doesn't pack an emotional punch for me, and it totally should, because I'm an emotional like as soon as E.T. starts, I'm like crying.
Dude, if you're telling me that at the end of Super 8, when that kid and his dad are finally having a moment throughout the entire movie, and the mom's picture flies away and he grabs it, and the dad is holding the son and the son is holding the picture and the alien is going off. If you don't get emotional and you don't cry, then fuck you, Craig.
That's what I felt. I felt like fuck me. I don't care about this.
Craig was like, it's all about letting go.
I said that out loud.
It's just about letting go.
I'm such an idiot.
That's what 99% of movies are about.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle Chandler's an incredible actor, by the way.
He really is.
Yeah.
I think so.
Elle Fanning's
He's
great.
dude.
It's great.
There's some really good stuff in that movie.
And it predates Stranger Things, and it's great. You can be on a bike and not
It's
be
good.
in Stranger
It's
Things.
a very good movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like the stuff about I like the kids making the movie thing, because that's very close to home for me, and I think it's cool to
well,
watch.
I think maybe that's what it is. I think maybe the first half of the movie, you know what's weird about it? Because I know Steven Spielberg didn't direct it, but he did produce it. It reminds me a lot of my feelings after I saw War of the Worlds, which is
shut up,
Dude,
this remind you of War of the
That just had a
Worlds?
Fanning in it. Didn't that have Dakota Fanning?
It did, yeah.
That's why you're getting it all mixed up.
Dude, War of the Worlds
that
and
movie
Super 8.
sucks.
Hold on. You know what? I'm sorry for interrupting you because I got to hear this bullshit.
Yeah.
I
Get
just
back
don't-
on your bullshit.
I remember when I saw War of the Worlds and Super 8, great. It's on your list. Congratulations. Everything's happening. Let's talk about War of the Worlds real quick.
Are you jumping ship now?
No, that movie sucks.
Ganged up on you?
That's Steven Spielberg's worst
It's
movie.
not on anybody's list. Super 8's good.
It also came out like 17
Came
years
out like 20 years.
Yeah.
It's
I was
not.
on a
It's
date.
no Stranger Things. All right, let's move on. What number are we on?
Now it's number 6.
No, Craig's got to do
Craig,
his
you
7.
have to do 7.
Okay. My number 7 is the movie, and I don't think this is on anybody's list. This is 40.
Okay.
Did I break the podcast?
No. Paul Rudd is non-controversial.
He really isn't.
Yeah.
I really like all of Judd Apatow's movies. I think they're very well done, modern comedies, and I like that they're long. And every time I see a Judd Apatow movie, I know the first thing somebody's going to say is, "Oh God, it was like 30 minutes too long." And I like long movies.
You like those 30 minutes.
I think Leslie Mann and Paul Rudd, their characters are the best part of Knocked Up. And when I heard that they were getting their own movie, I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It'll be like Knocked Up without like some of the annoying stuff. And I just really like it. I don't like it. I don't relate to it.
When you say some of the annoying stuff, you just mean Katherine Heigl.
Katherine Heigl is so fucking annoying. I just love that movie. I think it's extremely funny. I've seen it a bunch, and I think it holds up. And I always like to have I think comedies sometimes don't get the credit that they should as far as like pieces of film, and they're not maybe talked about in the same way that dramas are. And I wanted to have a comedy that I really loved over the last 10 years, and that is one of them. And I actually really like that movie. So yeah.
Cool.
Paul Rudd for life. He should be
Yeah.
in a Ghostbusters movie.
No, but watching him in Endgame when he's like talking about how things work, and I just kept thinking about afterlife, and I'm just so
The whole time travel discussion in Endgame is when he says,
yeah.
so wait, you tell me Back to the Future was bullshit? So awesome. All right. This is 40, number
Yeah.
7. Hey, by the way, if you
Respect.
agree with me, leave a comment. Tell me I'm right, please.
Yeah, if you love Leslie Mann and
We'll see how
Judd
many comments
Apatow's
you
kids,
get on that one.
I love the scene in
Super 8
this.
sucks. This is 40.
This is 40 when Paul Rudd is dumping like the junk food into the trash can and he pulls the cupcake back out of it to eat it. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
awesome.
That's relatable. I've done that. I did that the other day with a pancake from IHOP. I just wanted to admit that. I never told you that. I went back in
You
for
took
it.
a pancake out of the trash?
Yeah, it was like
you-
wrapped. I did a
you-
church Costanza. Like
You
it
pulled
was
a
my
Costanza?
It was my stack of pancakes. I'd eaten most of
It
them.
was my pancake!
And then I threw them away, and then I was like,
You
I
pulled
want
a
that.
Costanza.
I want the last one. It was really good. Well, for all admitting things, number 6.
We're not all admitting things.
We're
You
not.
star.
Well,
You just wanted to get that off your chest.
it was in a container. It's fine. So I have for number 6 is obvious, I guess. We talk about this movie a lot. It's one of my most recommended movies to other people, mostly because I just want to fuck them up. It's Hereditary. It's a messed up movie. I've only seen it once, but that doesn't mean it's not in my top 10 of the last decade because it impacted me. I felt like it was a panic attack on screen. And the peanut allergy sequence into the decapitation scene is the single most terrifying and stress-inducing moment in all of film, I think. I love the pan stuff. I love like the weird cult demonic stuff. And it's scary, it's fucked up, and I really enjoyed it, and didn't feel like any other movie I've ever seen. And I think that it's one of the best films of the last 10 years. It scared the shit out of me. I think it scared you guys too.
Yes.
Are you scared?
I'm very scared.
Okay.
Yeah, Hereditary is awesome.
Yeah.
It's no This is 40, but it's awesome.
I mean, it ain't book smart, but it's pretty cool.
All right. Jacob Walsh.
Cool. My number 6 is the other movie that I don't usually put on lists because of the franchise thing, and it's a Star Wars movie. It's not The Rise of Skywalker. It is The Force Awakens.
Okay.
I think The Force Awakens is the best film in the trilogy, and it kind of in the new trilogy, and it kind of makes me. I try not to think about it too hard because it will start to bum me out about Rise of Skywalker because I'll be like, Force Awakens was better. Force Awakens, I think.
That's how I get with This Is 40 and Knocked Up. I just get so bummed.
Mm-hmm. The 40-verse?
The 40-verse. Just Force Awakens, to me, that's an important film. It brought Star Wars back. It was more Star Wars than Star Wars has been in a long time. It was really well. It was, I think Force Awakens is it's a perfect movie. It had, even if, like, still, if I watch those trailers, it makes me cry. I just think every choice they made for Force Awakens was perfect. So it's on the list.
Cool. I have a feeling we're going to be talking about that more, so we can move on.
Yeah, I'm just not going to say anything. Act like, yeah.
Number 6. My number 6 is the movie Creed. Michael B. Jordan.
Cool. Hey, I want to give you a high five for that. Thank you. No, I respect your decision to put that on your list.
The Rocky series of movies is probably my favorite superhero sci-fi franchise. It's probably just one of my 3 or 4 favorite franchises. I love every Rocky movie. I get something out of all of them, whether it's the first Rocky, which I find to be an incredibly well-made, well-written, well-acted movie with the triumph of the human spirit kind of thing, which I'm a sucker for. And I really love Sylvester Stallone. Or something like Rocky 5, which is just cheesy bullshit. And I still like it. And it's horrible.
Go for it.
Yeah, just go for it. But Creed was such a... it's like the Force Awakens of Rocky. They were able to...
say much.
Yeah, it does. Michael B. Jordan, much like Ray Palpatine, takes the mantle.
Ray Palpatine. Just like Ray Palpatine.
Ray Palpatine. She's Skywalker now. I forgot.
She
does whatever she wants.
She claims Skywalker now. I love Creed. Awesome movie. It's so much better than it has any business being. Yeah. And Jake, I know you probably haven't seen it, but I haven't. Maybe give it a chance at some point.
In order to do that, I have to watch
all
like
the
4 or 5 other Rocky movies, and I'm not doing that. I watched the first one and I didn't like it, so I don't feel like I can watch Creed without watching the rest of them.
Yeah.
You probably could. I get what you're saying.
If you've seen the original, you're pretty much good.
But no, it was directed by Ryan Coogler, who is incredible. Went on to do Black Panther and Tessa Thompson, Michael B. Jordan. Mm-hmm. Awesome movie. I give it 2 thumbs up.
The scene where Michael B. Jordan has to take a shit is my favorite out of that movie. It's one of my favorite moments in movies.
That's really funny.
I love it.
It's really well done.
He gets all like wrapped up to go box like in his match, and like right before he goes out, he like has to go to the bathroom and he can't take his boxers and shorts off. So Tessa Thompson has to do it for him. It's very real.
God, sounds like a top 10 movie.
I loved it. It's top 10 moment for me.
All right, number 5. We're getting there, folks.
Number 5. I'm starting off still. All right.
Still starting off.
All right. Mad Max Fury Road. I saw this movie 4 times in the movie theater when it came out.
I saw Batman and Robin in movie theaters 4 times. That won't make anybody's list.
That's nobody's top anything.
I kept thinking. Real quick, little sidebar. The 4th time I was seeing Batman and Robin, I really wanted to be seeing Dirty Work.
I would rather see Dirty Work over Batman and Robin.
All right.
Dirty Work's a great movie. It's not as good as Mad Max Fury Road, though, which is heart-pounding and nonstop action. And George Miller came back and did a movie when he was like, 70-something? He's old, but he did it. And it's a nonstop thrill ride. And it's very forward-thinking and pro-femme, like subversively so, because Furiosa is, like, in my opinion, the main character of the story rather than Mad Max. And I love Charlize Theron, and I really love Tom Hardy, and I think that their support of each other, like in a platonic way that's like non-romantic, was really cool to see on screen. And I loved the wives, and I loved Immortan Joe. And it's it's just a brilliant movie, and it feels like very real because there's so much practical effects are going on, and it's just stunning and kind of gross and cool and beautiful and tragic, and I really loved it.
Yeah, that's a cool movie.
It's a cool ass movie.
When you think about the way it was made and like how it kind of fits into that category of like it turned out so much better than it had any business being.
Yeah,
like
I remember seeing the trailer and being like,
I remember hearing like Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron like they're like in the desert in the middle of God knows where, and they're like, we don't know what's happening.
Yeah, Tom Hardy like didn't have a good time on set. He's like, I'm very confused.
It didn't look fun. It looks so
he has
gross
like
and
a
hot.
mask and a chain and all that shit. It looks. I can only imagine that it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and apparently George Miller's forging ahead with more Mad Max movies. And you know what? Let's just say it. For a director like that to return to a franchise, like Ridley Scott wishes he could have done with Prometheus and Alien what George Miller was able to do with Mad Max. Is that a hot take?
No, it's true.
And don't get me started on James Cameron.
Yeah, Alien Covenant's on one of my lists, just not the good one.
All right, Jake, number 5.
My number 5 is Hereditary. For all the reasons Abby said, it's terrifying. It's one of the scariest movies I've seen in a long time.
All right,
Tight.
Why don't you just give him the trophy? All right, here. I'm so excited to keep going here.
I am too.
We're already at an hour. Okay, number 5 is drum roll, please.
I'm not drum rolling for whatever this is going to be.
Why are we doing it for 5?
Because it's The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh. Have you come to tell us number 5? Frog. Do you like that?
Well, everybody else picked a Tom Hardy movie.
Okay.
I love The Dark Knight Rises. I've talked about it before. I know this is a polarizing film. I do feel say it's not like I'm the only person in the world who loves this movie. I know that Jake has a visceral reaction to it, but that's okay because this is my list. This is my time.
It's your list.
I really like I adore the Nolan Batman trilogy, and it was just seeing it in theaters was still one of the most satisfying film-going experiences I've ever had. My only real complaint about the movie is that it probably could have been divided into 2 movies because the passage of time with the amount happening is it's a lot between basically Gotham falling apart, Batman getting his back broken, Bruce being in the... Oh, wait, let me do it. There's a prison in a more ancient part of the world.
Yeah.
Michael Caine. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. Thank God. I finally didn't... I quit.
We approve.
And the
Whenever I
Talia
tell
al
you your
Ghul...
impressions are good, then you end up
The
doing
Talia al Ghul reveal is... It's not the best ever. But overall, love that movie. Love Christian Bale. Love Christopher Nolan. Love Tom Hardy in that movie. And y'all know, and this is the hottest of hot takes, similar to how some people we know talk about General Holdo. Poor John Yerkema.
We love you, John.
We love John.
Dude.
And he agrees with me
All
on this
love.
one.
Yeah.
I love Anne Hathaway in this movie.
It's a hot take. It's a hot take. But no, it's not. I think she's great.
great.
She's great. She's fucking
It is a
great.
hot take.
You think she's the best Catwoman?
She's my favorite Catwoman.
Okay.
I mean...
Well, there haven't been. There's one other live action Catwoman,
Yeah, I was-
right?
Oh, right.
So-
Halle Berry. Cool. So that's my number 5. Love The Dark Knight Rises.
Cool.
I can't wait to see what Matt Reeves does with the new Batman movies. Batman is my favorite superhero. And obviously Michelle Pfeiffer was great as Catwoman. But I just love Anne Hathaway. And I also love that movie Colossal. And I don't know if it's on anybody's list, but I want to watch it again.
I thought about it. It was...
It's in my honorable mentions.
Yeah, it gets a mention.
Spoilers! Abigail.
Deal with it.
Number 4.
Wow, are we already back to me? All right. Number 4 is a movie with a perfect soundtrack. And I think it's a perfect film. I wish Kevin Spacey wasn't in it because he's like a piece of shit now, but it doesn't affect the movie.
American Beauty.
Yep. No. Baby Driver, obviously. Saw that one in the movie theater 3 times and once.
It's always a goddamn competition.
Yeah, well, that's how I measure it. Like, that's my unit of measurement is like how many times I'm drawn to go back and buy a ticket.
Well, just know when you're measuring it, you got to start all the way
at the base of the movie theater of the movie. Yeah, I did. So, yeah, a fucking Edgar Wright. This was a movie he'd thought of for a long time and obviously had a lot of thought, precision, and care put into it. I love the way that his OCD like alignment of music to action and the way the gunshots line up with the beat. I think that's fantastic. It was filmed in Atlanta. It's cool to see Atlanta stuff on screen. And I loved it. I loved the love story and I loved the villains. And I thought that it was just a tightly packed thrill ride. And yeah, I grew up watching like car chase movies and like tough guy shit like that, and it just felt like the kind of movie that like Stephen King can get behind. I could take my dad to see, and I liked it. It meant a lot to me, and it's I think the artwork, the poster is like very beautiful. I did a costume as Baby from Baby Driver for Dragon Con. This is just me giving my credentials why I like the movie. But yeah, it's number 4 for me. It's just an important, really sweet, solid, perfect, beautiful musical movie, and I loved it.
There you go.
It's good.
I hate when people, you know, my problem with Baby Driver, I've heard people describe it as a musical, and I'm like, do you not know what a musical is?
Nobody's singing in that movie.
God, that pisses me off.
His girlfriend when she's singing B-A-B-Y Baby.
Jacob Walsh.
Yeah, number 4. I have the Hateful Eight. I love your thumbs up, Abby.
You get it.
I
saw this movie. I saw this movie when they did the touring road show where it had all the extra, it had the intermission and all that. And this movie's just it's amazing. Everybody in it is amazing. It's got one of Quentin Tarantino's best casts. The music is really like eerie and creepy, and it's because the music is leftover music from the movie The Thing that was unused, and they just used it in this movie. And those movies both have kind of similar plots, and it's just great, man. It's got it is the best of it's one of the best of Quentin Tarantino's characters going off on rants, and Walton Goggins, who we've all been talking about a lot recently because he's in those shows. This is the first time I saw him and was like, whoa, this guy is amazing. I've seen him in a couple other things in very small parts, but in this film, he's one of the main. He's one of the main guys.
You know what he is?
Great in it.
Misbehaving in that film.
Oh,
Misbehaving.
I was watching it last night because I haven't watched
it.
Yeah, because Netflix has the extended edition that's divided into 4 parts or whatever.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched it like that yet, and I started it last night. And there's just something so I might have to save. I'm gonna save some of that.
Yeah, it's a good movie, man. It makes you antsy.
This
and
is Jake's moment.
It's just it's just a good movie. It's one
great.
Of
Daisy
I would put
Domergue.
it in I would put it in Tarantino's top 3 or 4 probably. It's great.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
What number are we on?
4.
4?
You're number 4.
My number 4 movie of the last 10 years is Guardians of the Galaxy.
What? You can't. Okay.
I guess I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Fine.
I love
Fine.
it. I think it's my favorite Marvel movie, and I think it's perfectly cast, perfectly executed. It was my introduction into James Gunn. I think that I have a feeling we're going to be talking about it more very soon, so we can move on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Step off. That's what I'm saying.
You telling me to step off?
Yeah. Get off my planet. Okay. Are we doing number 3? Is it my turn?
Yeah.
This is number 3. Yes.
All right. This one's already been mentioned, so I won't belabor it and go too long. It is a perfect film by Guillermo del Toro, and it was on your list. Jake, The Shape of Water.
Cool. I weirdly have a crush on that girl from that movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
why weird though? I mean,
Sally Hawkins. It doesn't have to be weird. What is that? That's disparaging to her to say you have a weird
date
crush
somebody
on her.
who's a custodian.
I don't want someone who's into different species. She is such a treasure, and her character in this movie, her friendship with, I can't remember the actor's name, the guy who likes to go and get the pie, who's the artist.
You said his name earlier.
What's his fucking name?
Richard Jenkins.
Richard Jenkins.
Richard Jenkins, yep. Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, I love him.
Step Brothers.
It's a great movie. Step Brothers was going to be on my like honorable mentions, but it was 2009, I think. So off the list. It's a gorgeous film.
Take that, 2009.
The Shape of Water. I was obsessed with The Little Mermaid. That was my favorite Disney movie, and I feel like this has some of those elements of like the tragedy and like, but it's like reverse and it's like fixed and like it makes it. It's just a really great story. I love that she sees the humanity and can connect with a creature like that, and there's a dance sequence and a musical number. And
it's not on my top 10. It is a great movie, and I did enjoy it a lot. The thing that strikes me about that movie, it is visually stunning. Like the set decoration and the cinematography is so. The
theater that they live above, and when the water fills up and shoots out the door, and like, first of all, like, I would love to live in her apartment. It's very.
I would love
gorgeous.
To fill my entire bathroom with water and swim in it.
I don't know why they haven't released like a potpourri or a bath bomb that is inspired by The Shape of Water, or an egg timer, or a set of other things that
You're
they should
obsessed
make.
with this egg timer.
Yeah. It's cool. I feel like the marketing should have been a little better for
The
Shape of Water.
marketing. Get your Shape of
Come
Water.
on, Guillermo.
You time to
Time.
wind that clock, and we're not going there. Jake.
Nah, dude, it's a great movie. Also, yeah, the villain was super duper fucking scary where he rips his fingers off, and like just the way that's a really cool metaphor. And yeah, it's brilliant. It's also pro-femme and smart and pro-human love and love for everybody.
But he's not playing Khan, so.
No.
Remember that when Michael Shannon was definitely 100% playing Khan in the second
okay.
Star Trek, and like he kept saying no, he's not, and then he told anyways. All right, Jake.
Fuck it.
You're up. Number three.
Number 3 is a movie that it was released and I saw on my birthday. I think it was at this point a couple of years ago, but Annihilation.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's on my honorable
This movie is insane. This movie is it's insane. Like, there's weird shit going on in this movie. It is, I think, probably out of all of the films on my list, it's probably the prettiest. You know, there's some really like horrifyingly beautiful images happening in this movie. The animal life and the plant life is just, it's like, it almost feels like Oz or something. It's like everything is weird looking and beautiful, but also if you get too close to it, it will kill you.
Also, the sound design. Sitting in the theater and watching this movie, the last 15 minutes between it was
that music that
it was
playing,
so
dude, it's insane. And also this movie has like besides Hereditary, which was a horror film, this movie I wouldn't call it a horror film. You know, it's like a weird sci-fi, but it has one of the scariest moments, like surprising moments out of any movie I've ever seen when the bear shows up.
I didn't like that
and
bear.
It, like, as you were just saying, Craig, the noise that bear made as it's like sounding like the woman that it just killed saying help me was the roar of the bear. It's terrifying. It is just like that whole scene. I remember being like in the theater just like kind of with my hands on my face like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
That's
cool.
Horrifying. Like,
it's like when you heard Raphael say damn that one time.
Yeah, I was like, oh, and when
Mom!
Whenever Oscar Isaac is like cutting that guy's stomach open and the music that's playing is just, it's such an eerie atmosphere, the entire film. It's fucking bonkers and it's beautiful. And it's my number 3.
There you go. That's a cool movie. I gotta revisit it. I kind of want to watch it right now. It's beautiful. It's very cool.
It's on the Vudu if you want to watch it.
Hey,
nice.
Natalie Portman's great in that movie.
Yeah, dude.
She's great.
Yeah, it's a cool team.
Forever my queen.
Dude.
My lady.
I'd rather be dreaming about Padme.
I saw Padme dying in a dream and now I'm bad.
Oh. That...
And I hate sand.
This is a different podcast.
Yeah.
This is a different episode.
We're being too positive today.
Dude, I've had bad dreams, but I've never.
Yeah, but have you
never
ever turned
made me
evil because of them?
like,
Decided to kill a child.
children? No. It just no. I made better health decisions.
Also, I love in The
earlier.
Mandalorian, like the Sand People. They just talk to them. Just talk to them.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
I love.
No one
Sand
ever
people.
tried speaking to them.
Hey, Anakin, before you killed all those children, did you try talking? I
Probably
floated
not.
a pear. I was going to make the pears float. So, all right. What number?
3, go.
Dude, Anakin fruit salad. Continue.
The Force Awakens is my number 3.
2 Star Wars movies on your list.
All right.
Okay.
Somebody
I'm
must
into that.
like
I'm a
Star
basic little
Wars.
bitch.
I like it.
You got to stay Craig strong. And put the Force Awakens on your list. I love it.
I know.
I love it. I think it's like, I can't say anything more than Jake said earlier, other than it was the perfect way to reintroduce Star Wars. It introduced us to incredible new characters. Finn and Poe. I love them in this movie. Unfortunately, they didn't pan out the way maybe they could have, although I do think they're redeemed a good amount in Rise of Skywalker. But Rey and Kylo Ren, awesome. And obviously the return of Han Solo, Harrison Ford, with just really an incredible performance. And there's not much more that I could say other than I love The Force Awakens, and it is my second favorite Star Wars movie behind Return of the Jedi. Boom.
Cool.
All right.
Put
I like
that
that.
in your...
Pipe and smoke it,
That.
or whatever you do.
I was going to make it a Star Wars thing, and I didn't. I couldn't
Put that
do
in your little cup that Baby Yoda's got and drink it.
The soup.
The broth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it in your cup and drink
Do
it.
that. Hey,
Yeah.
do all of that.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
number 2. Here we go. Top 2. I'm getting very excited.
I'm having this stress of like, I want to switch my top 2 now, but no, I'm going to stay true. It's my turn?
Yeah.
Do it.
All right. Oh my God. All right. This is a movie that I have been hooked on since I saw it in the movie theater 4 times.
4 times?
4 times.
That's more than 3.
I cried every time. It was a pivotal movie at a pivotal moment in my life. It was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and it was my first James Gunn film that I'd ever seen.
Wow,
And-
sounds like something I said once.
I'm getting so annoyed because you guys have already said my top 2. It's like, what? You know what? I'm still going to say it. I got to see James Gunn and Sean Gunn the same year that movie came out at Dragon Con. It was really special. I got to take a picture with Sean Gunn and be like second to front row while James Gunn was talking. And it was really cool to be in the room full of people because it was like a phenomenon when that movie came out. It was like, I saw people on social media that I was just becoming friends with that were going and seeing it second, third time, fourth time, still crying. And it was like a really cool experience and like connection between myself and a lot of friends that I've made through that movie. And
You know what I loved about it? Remember when they first announced Guardians and everybody was just like, this is probably going to be the first MCU movie.
tree in it. It's got Parks and Rec guy in it.
And then it was just like, oh, this is the best.
yeah,
This
it's the
is
absolute
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts right off with like the tragedy of little Peter Quill watching his mother die, and I remember watching that in the movie theater and like crying and being really surprised by the fact that I was crying, that a comic book movie was making me cry, and then seeing Star-Lord come on screen with the
It's pronounced Star Wars.
with the music and it's just from beginning to end. It's a story about friendship and misfits and making your own family out of the people that you really love and care about, and the measures and lengths that you would go to save and help those people. And I love Drax and I love Rocket. Those are probably my 2 favorite characters of any movie in the last 10 years. And yeah, the movie blew me away and helped me when I needed it. And it was my first stress on Yes Have Some. Me trying out for the volume 2, like I sent a picture in and I was very stressed.
Trying out.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I
I remember that.
applied. What is it? What do you call that?
Be like the rest
Want
of
to
the
be an
Georgia
extra?
Ghostbusters and be an extra.
The rest of Atlanta, Georgia, and be an extra in a Marvel movie. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me. I think it's the best soundtrack and the most. That's why I'm stressed. It's not my number 1. I feel like it might.
I was
have
about to say,
impacted
this
me
is your
more.
number 2.
No,
Right?
no takes backs.
No
Can't
takesy
triple snap a
backsies.
double snap.
Yeah.
It might really be I think it's my actual number one.
You know, it can't be.
All right, you just said it's your number 2. You already did.
Okay, it's number 2 because my number 1 pulled me into a franchise.
Oh, I did not know you liked Deadpool.
Oh, that was in my honorable mentions.
All right.
And Deadpool 2.
Jake?
Those are both good movies. My number 2.
How come we haven't talked about Babu Frick at all today?
Babu?
I love him.
The droid is ready. I tried.
There, that's pretty good.
Hey.
That's pretty good.
I actually practiced. I could do it better when I was sick. When I had like a deeper register.
The movie made you sick, but it also granted you better
the ability
impression.
to talk like Babu Frick, who was also voiced by the same person who did Moaning Myrtle from Harry Potter.
Okay.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Shout
All right,
out.
Jake. Number 2.
My number 2 is it's Django Unchained. Part of me didn't want to do 2 Quentin Tarantino movies at first, but I was like, you know what? He literally makes the best movies. Every year that there's a Quentin Tarantino movie, that's usually the best movie of that year. You know what I mean? Like, he makes the best fucking movies, and it was almost hard for me. I couldn't tell where I wanted to place Django versus Hateful Eight because I love them both. They're both really great, but there's something about Django that I feel like is a little more. It's a little more fun, you know, when it's like a revenge movie, and you know you're just seeing piece of shit after piece of shit get what they deserve.
I
love
like that.
It just feels Django, like the whole time you're watching it, you're just like, yes, yes, yes. You know, like when you're watching Hateful Eight, there's a little bit of that yes in there, but it's also like my favorite character might die. You know, we're like, what is going to happen here? And like, oh, cool, my favorite character died first. Cool, awesome. You know, whatever. You know, so Django's great. It's like most Quentin Tarantino movies. I think it's probably a perfect film. It's fucking good, man.
Django is great.
Number 2 of the decade.
Woo!
Damn.
Jamie Foxx.
Saw it on Christmas. Released on Christmas.
My number 2 is a little movie.
Yeah.
Called The Hateful Eight. We've already talked about it. We've already covered it. Hateful Eight fucking rules. It's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. I love it. I love every actor in it. I love Samuel L. Jackson. I love Walton Goggins. And I love fucking Kurt Russell. He is incredible. From the first time he opens his mouth, you're like, oh, Kurt Russell's awesome in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, Kurt Russell's always awesome. I even considered putting, like, he's awesome in Guardians 2. He's obviously great in everything he's done. He's great even in that dumb fucking Santa Claus movie, which isn't very good. Kurt Russell's still really good in it.
Mm-hmm.
I love The Hateful Eight. The snowy setting, the claustrophobic nature of these people being stuck in a cabin, not knowing who to trust, and just the long monologues. It feels like you're watching a stage play. Mm-hmm. Only Quentin Tarantino could get away with making this movie and making it so incredible. Mm-hmm. And I just love it. I love that, like, the first 40 minutes you're just in a wagon listening to people talk. And
the craziest thing about that is I think it literally is like 40 minutes and it feels like 5.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love Obi, the guy who just drives the damn
Obi.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it all. And I think that I'm going to continue watching it tonight. I do have the Jason Edmondson Hateful Eight print on my wall. And I do have all of the NECA Hateful Eight action figures. And today in a Facebook group, somebody was selling the Django figures, which are very rare.
Controversial. Yeah.
Very controversial. Remember they took those out of stores?
Quick. Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah. You know what?
I get it.
I kind of get it. It's like they're selling...
You kind of get it, but also, like, you're probably going to buy them at some point.
Oh, no, I'm getting them.
Yeah.
I'm getting them toys.
Things that are rare you want.
Just make sure you know what? Buy them, but just make sure you don't buy them on eBay. Don't bid for them. Just buy them.
Oh, God. I thought you were going to say something about... Yeah. We should...
eBay... Real talk?
Timestamp.
Facebook put it up? No, there's no timestamp.
No
Facebook. This guy was selling them on Facebook because eBay wouldn't let them be sold. They're banned from eBay.
Yeah.
It's because you're depicting people.
Yeah. It's rough.
It's rough, but the reason I like Django, even though we're talking about Hateful Eight, is because what Jake was saying, all these absolute pieces of fucking garbage get what's coming to them, and it's fucking great. But anyways,
Payback.
Channing Tatum, also great. And, oh gosh, what's her name?
Jennifer Jason Leigh?
So awesome.
She fucking steals the movie. I love her.
Yeah.
She's so messy and dirty.
Oh, she's dirty.
I love her.
And Kurt Russell
Russell's fucking amazing.
Love Hateful Eight.
It's great. Put the coffee on.
Whew. And I like saying the word haberdashery a lot.
Haberdashery. Oh, I get it. That was a joke.
Craig once went to a hair salon called the Haberdasher.
I did.
Did you go there just because that's
it's
what
in
it was called?
Hateville. No, I think it was because
that was the Hateville.
You can walk there.
Did you go in and then immediately get annoyed that nobody was yelling at you to board the door up?
Hey, right, exactly. Also, Bruce Dern is so good in that movie.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Oh, he's so good. Quentin Tarantino. I get it.
But you know what? The one thing that movie does not have that I really feel is important, and the one leg up Django does have, is Django has now I can't think of his name. The incredible actor
Samuel?
Christoph
Okay.
Waltz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, Christoph. Yeah. He's fantastic.
All right, here we go. Number one. It's
Number
time.
one, Abby. I feel like
you know what it is because I haven't said it yet.
I feel like I don't, and I don't know what Craig's is either. Which is, I feel like you guys absolutely know what mine is. But
I know what
is it?
I think I know what Craig's is, and I hate it. But mine is one that you guys both said. The Force Awakens.
Oh, okay.
It's my number one because I saw it 4 times. I cried every time. I've watched it countless times since.
You saw it 4 times?
In the movie theater, yeah.
In the movie theater.
And then
I saw it 4 times in the movie theater.
Buddy.
It grew my Star Wars.
I saw it 4 times in the movie theater.
It grew my Star Wars obsession and brought me into the fold, and that's something really special. I think that it's the best movie that has come out in the last 10 years. I think that its impact on me and on movie making and just human beings in general, it's a huge deal. I think that Rey is the best character to be introduced in the last 10 years. And I think that her relationship with Finn and Finn's relationship with Poe and the 3 of them, it's what I care about most, the story that I'm thinking about and have invested the most time in. And I was pissed off by The Last Jedi, even though I liked half of it. This movie is what made the whole thing aggravating for me because I loved The Force Awakens so much, and seeing, like you've all said, Harrison Ford come back and Carrie Fisher come back, and it was extremely special. Sitting there and watching the crawl and seeing Star Wars pop up on the screen when I saw The Force Awakens, I was sitting next to a guy wearing a Darth Maul costume. And I remember, I was like, this is so special.
Was I wearing a Darth Maul costume?
No, but the guy, he had to take his mask off and he was bitching about it. He's like, yeah, I really wanted to wear this, but couldn't. And I was just like, cool. I ignored him.
Who's wearing Darth Maul shit to Force Awakens?
Yeah, who would have like a Darth Maul jacket? Or God. I think that The Force Awakens is the best movie, and what I was saying was a moment to see Star Wars in a way that like I felt like people who saw it in theaters originally back in the 70s. I felt like that was my little slice of that moment to be like, this is special, this is new. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm having a panic attack. I love it. I got to go back and see it. And yeah, Daisy Ridley's performance and her as a person, and just all the and BB-8. I fucking loved BB-8, still do, and I think it was a home run movie. And I agree with you guys because y'all had it on your list, and it's just number one for me. I have to say, I think I've probably I don't know if I've seen that or Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 more. I don't. They're just right up neck and neck is what I'll say. I cherish and love both of those films, and I think The Force Awakens edges out just a little bit.
There you go.
Love J.J. Abrams, yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
All right, Jake,
cool.
number one.
My number one, I think everybody listening to the show probably knows what it is because I talk about it constantly, but it's Whiplash. I think Whiplash is the best movie, and not just some of the movies on this list. I think maybe might be my favorite movies, and maybe I don't think they're really like the best movies of the Whiplash, I think, is the best movie to come out in the last 10 years that I've seen. It's so heavy, and it's such a visceral movie for what it's about. It's just about like a dude playing drums, just playing jazz on a snare drum. But just like the way the way that those two characters are written, and he's so like he's so into being good at the drums that he is like willing to basically ruin the rest of his life and just let everything fall apart and almost kill himself at some point. And the character of Fletcher, played by oh my god, the guy who's going to be in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Is he? He's
J.K.
not.
Simmons.
JK.
Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. J.K. Simmons is amazing in this movie. Like, that role is perfect for him. And I really like the show Oz, and it's like, it's kind of the character's a little similar. He's great in it. He's terrifying, and he just like, it's such a weird story of him pushing this kid because he knows that this kid has it in him to, be this great drummer. And it's such a weird subject to have that kind of seriousness over it. It's just, I love it. I love Whiplash so much. It's just good.
So, have you seen it?
Oh, the constant debate.
I
Didn't even see
kind
it.
of fucked up because I definitely had this in all my preliminary lists.
It's
probably going to enter back into my top 10, and I'll probably have to replace maybe Spotlight or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, I agree. Whiplash is incredible, and
I'm obsessed with it. I don't know. And like, it's hard to even put it in words what it is, but it's just like it's such a serious and almost, I don't want to say it's scary. It's not scary in the way
but there's
that
tension.
people use the word scary. But the tension is insane. Mm-hmm. And the last, 10 minutes when they finally do the, like, when he tries to humiliate Miles Teller's character, and then he was like, fuck that. And he comes back out on stage, and then it's just like 10 minutes of just them playing the music.
Yeah.
And there's no dialogue. It's just him on the drums and him conducting. And they have this like back and forth just through looks, and just like, it's just so intense. And the way that it ends with them both, like, the movie just cuts to black on both of them looking at each other and smiling because they know that he knows that he brought him to that point where he's the best drummer he can be. And you can see that even though they hate each other, they have like a respect for each other at this point.
Yeah. And I think, what I really love about that movie is, what we talked about just a second ago, which is the tension, right? There's an unbelievable amount of tension that builds throughout that movie, and you kind of don't really know how it's going to go because it doesn't really fit the mold of like any other movie that you've ever seen. Because when the movie first starts, you kind of think like, oh, the first time I saw the movie, I thought it was going to be along the lines of, oh, he's trying to become an excellent drummer, but he just can't cut it. But that's not really the plot at all.
No.
He's put into a position to like either succeed or fail, and then he's being pushed to a limit that like no human being should be pushed to, and then humiliated at the same process.
Right.
So you feel a ton of like empathy for this guy.
Right.
But he also wants to be there, and he wants to like, he constantly is trying to he never really backs down from it and just kind of pushes through it, no matter what it does to his life, even to the point where he's like, I can't have a girlfriend, I can't have a life. This is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Like the drive of the human spirit or dedication and all that kind of shit. It's kind of...
J.K. Simmons is fucking... He's
very interesting.
He's incredible.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's incredible in everything, but like just specifically this, like, it's weird. A friend of mine posted a thing about they wanted to get a list of actors that people thought were underrated actors. And like... J.K. Simmons is in this movie. This movie did pretty well, and he won something for it. I can't remember which exact award he won.
I think he might have won Best Supporting Actor.
I think he did. And he's a major role in this film. But then, like, when you look at every other role that J.K. Simmons has, they're mainly supporting roles. So it's
right. He's a great actor.
How amazing he is in this.
He's a great actor. He's a very good actor. All right, so my number one movie of the decade. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
My number one movie of the last 10 years, and this should not be too big of a surprise to anybody who listens to Yes Have Some Podcast, is Gone Girl.
Oh, Joker's not even on your list.
No.
Dude, I was so ready to disrespect you, but that's cool. I get it. It makes sense.
I was wondering earlier when you were like, you're number one.
I'm going to hate your number one.
Don't
I like
get me
it.
started.
I get it.
The last time I checked, you liked Joker, so.
I didn't hate it.
You liked it.
I liked it. It was all right. Continue, Gone Girl. Respect. We don't need to hear my thoughts on Joker.
David Fincher's one of my favorite directors. Ben Affleck's one of my favorite actors. I've never read the book. I don't know if I ever will, because whatever. I absolutely love Gone Girl. I love the way that the story is executed. I love the way it's told. It's dark and funny. Ben Affleck is such an idiot, like the whole movie. Like everything he does, you're like, God, you're dumb. No wonder she's doing all this insane shit. And I'm not even going to spoil it, because if you've never seen it, just go out of your way to watch it. I really, really believe in Gone Girl. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. I think it's just, everything from the score to the way it's filmed, to the dialogue, to Carrie Coon, who plays Ben Affleck's sister, who kind of calls him on his shit like repeatedly through the movie. It kind of acts as the audience. I love when there's a character who basically tells the main character what you're thinking, because you're like, God, thank God. Someone's like, hey, quit being a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Your wife is missing. Quit sleeping with this 19-year-old dumb idiot girl. You idiot. And I really do love Ben Affleck. And that's it. I don't know what else to say. I watch it a lot, probably more than I should. If I'm in a good mood, I'm like, I'm putting on Gone Girl.
If you're in a bad mood, Gone Girl.
Which is weird, right?
Yeah.
Seems like it's just a weird movie to.
It's a very moody
be like,
movie.
I'm in the mood to watch Gone Girl.
It's very what I love about it, I have so much respect for a movie when, even though if you know the twists, it doesn't like take away the enjoyment.
Yeah.
Would you say this is your favorite Tyler Perry movie?
By 1,000 miles. Although the weird thing about Tyler Perry is anytime I see Tyler Perry in a not Tyler Perry movie, it's almost like Adam Sandler. When you get him out of his little thing, it's like, oh, Adam Sandler's great as long as he's not in control.
Yeah. I'm fine with him.
Tyler Perry's awesome. Tyler Perry is great in this movie, and also Neil Patrick Harris is really fucking cool in this movie. So I love it. I won't go any further other than saying, welcome to Gone Girl Podcast.
Yeah.
All right, we did it.
Nice.
We did
Top
it.
10.
Top 10.
Woo!
We did it.
Are we going to do honorable mentions?
Yeah, if you
go for it.
I didn't
just name
any,
some.
I can name a couple other movies that were.
Yeah. Well, I have the ones that I eliminated from the original list. I'll go real quick. I had Get Out on there. I had Annihilation on there. La La Land. I had Logan. Rise of Skywalker was a contender. Green Room, which Jake, you showed us that movie, and I really enjoyed that.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, and I remembered it was like one of those.
There was at a time where I was considering that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put.
Yeah.
You got more?
Deadpool, Jurassic World was a couple thoughts, and then my shout outs would go to Yoga Hosers, It Chapter 1, Deadpool 2, Popstar, Thor Ragnarok, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah, I put it on and I say it as one movie. It's one movie. I put that kind of as an honorable mention. Cabin in the Woods, I think, is a really funny, weird, wild take on, horror films, and everybody in that is great. What We Do in the Shadows was really funny. Suspiria, Midsummer, I thought was pretty great. I also put Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island were both really fun, and they were important to me, even though I know they're not the best movies. They were still really enjoyable.
To you, yeah, they are.
Yeah. Craig, you got any?
Yeah, Gone Girl.
Oh, okay, cool.
Movies that were in consideration for me were, here we go. I got my list right here. Whiplash, obviously. Inception, Joker, The Muppets, the Jason Segel Muppets.
Oh, shit, yeah. We all watched that movie recently. It felt good.
Bridesmaids.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
A Star is Born, Silver Linings Playbook, The Town, all the John Wick movies, Popstar, Hereditary, Logan, MacGruber, Won't You Be My Neighbor, which is the documentary on Mr. Rogers. I haven't seen the Tom Hanks movie. Wait, or is that Won't You Be My Neighbor? Whichever one the documentary.
I think that's Won't You Be. Okay.
Yeah. I know I'm gonna love it. I put movies I haven't seen on there.
The movie wasn't great.
I'm sure it was.
It's not great.
And then I also had Irishman.
All right, get out of here.
I love that. You
it was so
fucking idiots.
3 separate nights. It took us.
Fucking nominated for everything.
That doesn't mean anything. Though.
Yes, it does.
No,
to me, it does.
That movie sucks.
Robert De Niro's weird eyes.
Oh.
I like being able to see Craig get annoyed.
Yeah. We're not going to step on Gone Girl.
Gone Girl's a great movie. I think worst movies?
Yeah, I got some.
I didn't even make my worst movie.
Oh, yeah.
Aquaman. I think is the worst movie I saw.
Yeah.
It's my number 4.
I'm not usually into disparaging art, but fuck
I didn't make hey, Aquaman is not art. Every movie that's made, every movie that's not made is not. Just because someone makes a movie, that's not art.
Right.
It's just not. That's not art.
Aquaman
sucks.
New shirt
Aquaman,
for the year.
It's not art.
Aquaman is not art. I love that.
I didn't actually make a list of worst movies, but just disappointing. I would say Fox's use of their Marvel movies, like the X-Men movies that had come out, were just very disappointing as a whole, except Logan, but that's just a big bummer that there's been so many bad X-Men movies, and that precedes this decade. But
what else? Bad movies? Abby, you have.
How about I do my top 6?
Your top 6
in
biggest
reverse
bummers?
order.
Do it.
Number 6, Alien Covenant. Movie blew. It was bad. Number 5, Solo. I have a special level of contempt for that movie.
That's my
Didn't
number
enjoy it. Yeah, I figured. It's just unnecessary.
I'm a pilot.
Hate Alden Ehrenreich.
You're a pilot.
Oh, you're a pilot?
Oh, are you? Is it because you
Say it
say
again.
that?
Are you a pilot?
Say it again. Don't care about the love story
What's your name?
or the coaxium or any of that bullshit.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
I didn't even like the Chewbacca origin story. It wasn't even. It was like this. None of this feels good. Number 4 for me is Aquaman. Same reasons. It was total bullshit. Number 3, Suicide Squad. That was a painful viewing. It was very long. It was a lot of character introductions, and fuck that movie. I'm excited for James Gunn's take on it. And number 2, Wonder Woman. Just in general.
I'm starting to see a theme
Yeah,
here.
a lot of DC stuff. I wanted to like Wonder Woman. I went into it thinking hey, this one could be better.
Is
Gal
number
Gadot's
one,
pretty cool.
but is number 1 a Sony film?
Yes. Ba-da-da-da-ba-da-ba. Number 1 is Answer the Call, baby. Because that shit's fucking... we don't have to talk about Answer the Call. We've already had
we're not
180 episodes talking about it. So we don't need
I made a... did you have any more, Craig? No?
That's it for me.
No, I mean, I agree with all that. I don't think Wonder Woman was as big
Terminator?
of a bummer for me. Dark Fate's probably...
Dark Fate?
And Genesis and whatever.
And whatever.
Every
All the
Terminator movie
Terminators.
that's come out.
Any
All of them.
Terminator movie.
Let's be safe and just say any movie involving James Cameron in the last decade is a piece
Yeah.
of shit.
I saw the concept art for Avatar 2. Somebody
Does it look exactly like Avatar 1?
it somehow looks worse. Somebody on Twitter was like, "Oh, cool! This looks like really good 2002 high-powered Windows machine."
Oh my god. God damn it. Why did directors have to become so obsessed with groundbreaking stuff and technology, George Lucas?
I did a little bit of research, and it looks like there were technically 12 Stephen King movies that came out in the decade. For the sake of this list, and because it is 2 films, but it's one story, we're going to count it as one movie here. I did a top 9 because 2 of these movies I have not seen. The 2 I have not seen are Cell and Mercy, which I looked it up and it says it's loosely based on a short story. But this, I ranked the rest of them 1 through 9. I will start at number 9 to number 1. Did you guys I don't know if you guys did this or not, or if we're just going to talk about it.
No, but I want you to do it.
Number 9, A Good Marriage. You probably never heard of it? because it sucks.
Oh,
Oh, is that the one with Kylo Ren and Black Widow?
I do want to give a major. I know we're not. Marriage Story is one of my favorite movies of the year. I just want to put that out there. I think it's awesome.
I cared a lot more. I was surprised by how much I cared.
So yeah,
by that about that movie.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Keep going. Sorry about that.
Number 8, The Dark Tower.
Okay.
Number 7, Carrie.
Oh yeah.
The remake. Number 6, In the Tall Grass. Number 5, 1922. Number 4, Pet Sematary. Number 3 is Gerald's Game, which I rewatched a couple nights ago. That movie is very underrated. That is an amazing, gross. That movie is good. Number 2 is Dr. Sleep, and number 1 is It. And part of me feels like Dr. Sleep might be a little more like watching It versus Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep feels a little more like a serious film, but to me, It is just more of an emotional thing because I love the book so much, and it's such a big scope of a film that they did so much weird shit. It was such a feat that it had to be number 1 for me.
I thank you, Jake.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I just thought that would be fun. You're welcome.
I
wanted, you mentioned Mike Flanagan. You did. You don't know that you did, but you did.
Yeah, but I did. Yeah.
It's not a movie, but Haunting of Hill House
yeah.
was one of my favorite pieces
I think about that all the time.
Media over the last
decade. It was
decade.
great. It was very, very one of the best shows I've seen.
One of the best shows.
It felt like a Stephen King book, novel.
And I wanted to give that a shout out.
Big old shout out.
This is the most positive you're going to see us in a long time. No, this is going to be a good year. Lots of positivity coming this year.
I got a good feeling about 2020.
Did you make a list?
I have a list of my 10 favorite YHS moments of the last year.
Okay.
Yeah, if
well, let's end on that.
All right, cool.
Yeah, sure.
2020 vision. So I just had to say that. Number 10 moment for me, have some related, was Ryan Dole trying to order me a tea kettle in Orlando.
Yes, that was very good.
I don't have to go into it. It was really fun. I wasn't feeling well, and Ryan tried to get me a tea kettle. They don't have those at the Embassy Suites in Orlando.
Or at any hotel.
Or anywhere that's not Canada. But I love Ryan. Number 9, watching Jake barge in Little Tokyo in LA at the Godzilla merch. I have a video of that I've never released. Yeah, it was
unreleased content.
It was so great. Yeah, we got to put it up because we watched the chase. We saw it when it wasn't there. We came back. We got your stuff.
Is that where Jake looks at the camera and goes, "This is going on a credit card"?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. It's a great moment. Number 9. Number 8, meeting Harley Quinn Smith at a speakeasy in LA after watching her band The 10th play, which was an impromptu thing that we did. It felt very bizarre and surreal to be there and very exciting, and I'd like to do more things like that this year in 2020. I love Harley Quinn Smith. I love Kevin Smith. Her band, we listened to the music together like the day of the show when we decided to go, and it was really special, and she's a really cool person. So number 8 is that. Number 7, exploring South Pasadena, film locations on foot with you guys as a family when we went and saw the Nightmare on Elm Street house and the Back to the Future spot and Laurie Strode's house. It was really special and cool to like walk around in the cool morning of South Pasadena. It was really beautiful, and seeing those spots was something I'll never forget. We saw the Pee Wee Herman house too. That was really neat. Number 6, that car ride with Jake and Hal at the stoplight by the bridge, which I can't say anything about, but you guys know what happened.
Oh, I know.
We all know. That's bonus content. That is just for like 3 people. All right, number 5, the Linda Blair rematch in video that we made for YouTube, and me yelling, "Come on, Jake, this is your chance." That was my favorite moment. That was number 5, and number 4. Dancing while Ray Parker Jr. played Ghostbusters on the Sony lot at FanFest.
For 30 minutes straight.
For 30 minutes with Kristen Troy and like all of our friends. It was very special. Never forget that. Number 3, getting yelled at by Walmart employees for being disruptive while we were filming our Dr. Pepper video. It was really fun. I remember we busted out of a bunch of like paper towel rolls and got yelled at. Yeah, that didn't make the video or the commercial even, but it was a lot of fun. Number 2, touring Ghost Corps and getting the keys to the Ecto. Thank you, Eric. It was like, we all agree. That was probably like my actual number 1. It was very special.
Abby, every list Abby does when she gets to number 2, this is actually number 1.
It's like how on every season of every show, the second to last episode is actually the best one, not the last one. Right. Number 1 moment, watching Craig dump cookies on Jake's face at my parents' house while filming for Canada Dry.
God, this is the most like self-congratulate, like jack off.
Yeah,
jack
whatever.
I don't care. Those are my favorite. Those were all YHS related moments when the 3 of us were together in the last year, and it was very special. You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That was good.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much
for being a part of that.
Hey, heartfelt thank you to everybody who's with us here at Yes Have Some Podcast. Thank you so much for being subscribers, for interacting with us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, YouTube. We just, we love it. We have so much fun doing this. We couldn't do this without our listeners. So we have a lot of really cool stuff planned for 2020. We're very excited. If you do enjoy what you hear on Yes Have Some, please make sure that you're subscribing on YouTube or iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're finding us. Whatever you're doing right now, find the subscribe button. If you're watching us on YouTube, it's
smash. It's like here.
It's right in there. And listen, we have a really awesome Patreon community as well, where we do bonus episodes every month. If you would like to learn more about that, if you would like to contribute to what we do here and help us out with a couple bucks a month, for $5 a month, you go $5 down and then $5 a month. You get complete access to our entire archive of bonus episodes. We've got some really fun ones that we're going to be doing here in the next couple of weeks. We just put up our Sears Wish Book 1990, where we covered all the stuff that we wanted to buy in 1990, but our parents wouldn't get it for us because they're terrible people. We absolutely love our Patreon community. So if you want to learn more about that, head over to patreon.com/yeshavesome and sign up. If that is something that you could do, we would very much appreciate it, because what are you looking at? Go down.
I know. I was looking at that too. It's in group therapy.
There's a new
6 minutes ago. There's a new Chucky fan film,
Child's Play fan film called Charles.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I guess I'll interrupt Patreon talk for that.
Head on into group therapy if you want to see that trailer.
Abby, tell them about group therapy.
So easy. Log into your Facebook, search for Yes Have Some Group Therapy. It is a closed group with 700 and growing members. Ask to join, and then either myself, Craig, or Jake will accept you. And we have some very great administrator monitor people that keep all the memes out. So if you make a meme of us, that's probably okay. But just like DM somebody, don't post it. We have quality content. We all talk about our collections and things that we talk about on the podcast. Those topics are there for you to talk about in group therapy, and it's a great community, and I love everybody. And we should do the Yes Habsies and rate and rank all of our members of group therapy.
Yes. The top 700 members of group therapy.
Top fans. You can be a top fan.
So, Instagram, Twitter, at YHS Podcast. Find us on there. We post all sorts of pictures of our toys and our collections. And like we did say earlier, we are going to be doing some traveling coming up. Yes Have Some Podcast will be attending Toy Fair 2020 in New York City.
Travel with us.
And if you're going to want to stick to our channels for the latest breaking news.
Get that plane cast.
On Hasbro, they're going to be unveiling all of their new Ghostbusters products.
You all have to sit together in the same row to do a plane cast.
Listen, I'm trying to talk right now.
That was one of my least favorite moments of 2019.
Hasbro is
Sitting
going
with a
to
stranger.
be unveiling all of the new toys. I'm just ignoring both of you. For Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, I don't know if you heard, there's a new Ghostbusters movie coming out this year. We are going to have all of the coverage possible. We are going to be breaking it down limb from limb. Every single frame of that movie is going to be analyzed and reanalyzed. That is not happening until July. And you can also find us this year. For the first time, we will be attending San Diego Comic-Con.
San Diego.
And all sorts of stuff in between. There's not going to be any shortage of Yes Have Some bothering people all across the country. Mm-hmm. And I cannot wait. So, having said all of that, before we sign off, Abigail, do you have a New Year's resolution?
To buy more stuff and
Exactly.
do everything the exact same way I've been doing it.
Buying these bad boys. Harvey Dent being my first. I think eBay's a weird thing. Sometimes you just get on there, you black out. Next thing you know, you're buying things.
Yeah. I think that's like a medical condition that both you and Jake have.
Yeah, we do.
It's like, yeah.
Jake, anything else before we start
Transient amnesia purchases.
I think my New Year's resolution is to pay off all my Chronicle payment plans.
Nice.
Good luck.
My New Year's resolution is to buy every Jar Jar that I see in just anywhere.
I like that.
Cool.
I think you should do that. Like, seriously, that and your Watto collection I think is really good. Something I didn't mention when you were asking us about, when we were talking about toys at the beginning of the show about first of the year toys or whatever, I completely forgot that I did a pre-barge. I bought on a Kickstarter, I bought a whole bunch of scientifically accurate ceratopsian figures, like Triceratops and Protoceratops and Styracosaurus, all that. And I bought a lot of them. And they're not going to take the money out until like sometime around the end of February.
So you're good.
I had to put a note in my phone saying, make sure you have this amount of money in your bank account, because I went a little crazy with it. But
nice.
Pre-barge.
That was such a heartwarming story.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's the best story of 2020 that I've heard.
Hey, listen, by the way, last little plug ski before we move on. If you do want to support the podcast in another way, we do have YHS Shop, the Yes Have Some Shop, where you can buy t-shirts and little handbags and hats and all sorts of stuff. It's
handbags?
I don't know. There's something.
Yeah.
Not a handbag.
Like a custom.
Like a thing.
Tote.
Yeah, like a tote. Like a tote. That's yeshavesomeshop.com. And listen, we do this every week. We put a lot of work into it. Everything costs a little bit of money to run, so that stuff just helps us keep the lights on, as they say.
Keeps you looking cool.
And you're going to look good in that new Yes Have Some shirt.
Handbag.
And we're going to roll... We're going to be rolling out some more merch. There is a Craig Strong shirt now available, so get on that and let people know how strong you are when you're out hunting for toys. And when you have a Craig Strong shirt on, there is nothing wrong. You're in the toy aisle, some kid's looking at some toys that you want, you just push them out of the way, they'll see the shirt.
Take them.
They know. One of the first things I ever did on this podcast was get Jake to complain about children at Toys R Us. And,
Move, kid. Get out my way. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys don't listen to Lizzo, but she has a song called Boys that I want to do with toys for us. I want to do a cover.
There you go.
Toys. Cool. I know no one knows it, but you're all going to know it soon.
For Abigail Gardner and Jacob Walsh, my name is Craig Goldberg, saying thank you for joining us for our top 10 of the decade. We will see you next week on Yes Have Some Podcast. Until then, have a wonderful week, buy some toys, and please stay stressed.
Barge hard. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Y'all better